What is up, YouTube, and welcome to the Extra Point episode 40. I am Hunter along with Nick. How are you doing, Nick?
Hunter, I'm doing great. Huh? A
Great.
little
Okay.
different. I'm doing really great. Is that the right? Yeah, I'm doing really great. How
All
are
right.
you?
I'm doing wonderful, Nick. I'm
That
doing
is, I love it.
fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh, come on.
I gotta go. I gotta go normal. Anyway, welcome to the Extra Point episode 40. We are here going to be discussing our NFL awards. We're going to be starting off with the Defensive Player of the Year, both for the NFC and the AFC. We're going to go to the NFC and AFC Offensive Player of the Year, and then we will be going to reveal our MVP in our third and final topic.
Yeah.
We've been going with Russell Wilson all year long, but did it change this past week?
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. We were discussing our
Question.
players beforehand, and we do have some different players in nearly
Yep.
every category.
Yep.
So, without further ado, let's begin this. NFC Defensive Player of the Year, Nick, who do you have?
NFC Defensive Player of the Year is the same guy that most people thought would be the Defensive Player of the Year after the first 4 weeks of the season. Shaquille Barrett,
Yeah.
linebacker for the Buccaneers. It's really easy for me. He basically pulled a Von Miller at linebacker position. Mind you, people, we have 2 games left as we record this episode. 2 regular season games left. He can add to the list. All these players can. 16 and a half sacks, leads the NFL as
Yep.
a linebacker. That is absolutely impressive. He also leads the league in the NFL in forced fumbles. So he is a playmaker if I've ever seen one. When we look at explosive players in the NFC, he stood out to me over anybody else. Defensively, it's hard to get the numbers unless you got, 10 picks and 10 sack, unless you're one of those things. But specifically for me, he leads the league in sacks and forced fumbles. And as a linebacker, that's really impressive. So Shaquille Barrett is my NFC Defensive Player of the Year. Who is yours?
All right, so I went different route. I had NFC Defensive Player of the Year, middle linebacker for the Arizona Cardinals. We've been talking about him all year, Jordan
Jordan Hicks.
Hicks. He
Okay.
is top five. He is actually fifth in tackles
Yeah, he is
with 130.
over 100.
He's only got
Yep.
a sack and a half, but he's playing middle linebacker. Unlike
All right.
Shaquille Barrett rushes the quarterback nearly every single play in
Yep.
that 3-4 scheme. And it works for the Buccaneers, but it doesn't work for the Panthers. So he blitzes every single play, and he's very good at it. We saw him just like he did just the same exact thing in Denver on
Yep.
the opposite side of Von Miller. However,
Yep.
Jordan Hicks, a sack and a half, gets 130 tackles, fifth in the league. He's also got 2 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, and he is
Yeah.
just an overall fucking beast when it comes to stopping the run and in the pass coverage. I mean, honestly, I would put him third behind Bobby Wagner, Luke Kuechly, and then I put him at third when it comes to top middle linebackers in the league. And he's
Wow.
doing it with a not solid defense. I mean, the Cardinals are ranked, what,
He's
25th defense
he's
in the
he's
league?
got Chandler Jones up front. He's got uh Peterson in the back. I
He's
mean,
got Buda
it's
Baker, Jones, and then Patrick Peterson. That's really it. I mean, he had
well.
C.J. Mosley, but now
No,
he's
I know. I'm
gone.
not. I was just saying. I
I
mean,
mean, he's
yeah, their
not. He
defense as a
don't
whole
have
is
all that
ass.
many. I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong. Shaquille Barrett, I love watching him play. He's a great defensive end, basically. But
Yeah.
I'm going to go Jordan Hicks just because he is an overall presence in the pass coverage, the run stopping, and the field general of the
Yeah.
football team. And they made a good pick getting him from Philly.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean,
Right.
the thing gets me. I know he's a middle linebacker and he does a lot for the team. But I see where you're coming from. I just don't think it's as impactful. Granted,
Okay.
we pick players on teams that are ass anyway. I mean, the Bucks defense is better than it has been, but it still is one of the worst,
Yeah.
especially in the passing game. So, I'll give you that. But to me, Shaquille Barrett has a bigger impact getting 16 and a half sacks and 6 forced fumbles. Those are two of the
Ah, true.
biggest stats you can have as a pass rusher, and he's got both of them leading the league. So,
I give you that. Not to mention, he's probably the only good thing coming out of the Bucks pass coverage game.
That's
passing
yeah,
game.
yeah.
I
Right.
mean, honestly, because they don't have anybody else to fucking
Yeah,
stop that.
I really don't even know who their defensive backs are. I
Oh,
have
they had
no
Vernon
idea.
Hargreaves. Oh no, never
Oh,
mind.
they had him, and now they have that guy that worked at Walmart 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, there's our NFC Defensive Player of the Year, Jordan Hicks and
yeah,
Shaquille Barrett. Now we're going to move on to the AFC
yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year. Nick, I see you're wearing a Patriots hat. Who did you get for AFC Defensive Player of the Year?
I went with Stephon Gilmore, and it
Yep,
wasn't that hard for me, and it was biased. I'm sorry, it certainly was.
he's good.
Um, but Stephon Gilmore's numbers are really ones you could stick out, and in the record books this year. Just overall, he is the best cornerback in football this season. And numbers speak for themselves. Quarterbacks throwing at him have the lowest QBR.
Yep.
48, I believe. Actually, followed by him is another Patriot cornerback, so representing good there. But he leads the league in QBR when he's thrown at. Leads the league in pass deflections, and this is not just the AFC. This is the entire league. Pass deflections with 24. He also leads the league in interceptions with 6. 2 of those interceptions are pick sixes, and he's had multiple 2-pick games. So for me, that says it all right there. Another thing we look at, we just talked about 2 great defensive players on 2 shitty defenses.
Right.
So their impact isn't seen that well. The Patriots have statistically the number 1 ranked defense as of today, and he is the leader of that team. That speaks wonders to me. You think of Bill Belichick, you think of, all right, we're going to scheme. You're going to double team this guy. You might have to jump to this guy the next time. Stephon Gilmore is the only guy Bill Belichick can say, hey, guard this guy the whole game. He can trust him one-on-one at any time with anybody. That says a lot. So Stephon Gilmore for me. I'm really interested to see who you have, Hunter, because I really don't know who else is better.
Well, you were talking about you just said we chose players on shitty defenses and shitty teams in
For
general.
the NFC, yeah.
So the reason I did not choose Stephon Gilmore
Okay.
was because there's somebody right behind him that literally can mirror him in every single category besides pick sixes, and that is Tre'Davious White.
Yeah.
6 interceptions, just as many tackles, 1 less pass deflection. The only thing he doesn't have is 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I considered him. He is a very good player on a really good defense.
And with Buffalo, a division rival for the Patriots.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I didn't choose Stephon Gilmore, not to mention that he is on the number 1 defense in the league. So their pass rushing is helping him out tremendously.
So you chose Tre'Davious White.
I chose TJ Watt for Pittsburgh. They started off shaky at 1-5, I do believe. They move up to 8-6.
Yeah.
Playoff they go from having one of the worst defenses in the league to the 4th ranked defense in the league. Total defensive yards per game allowed. TJ Watt, you just said Shaquille Barrett has 16.5 sacks. TJ Watt has 13.5.
Yep.
5 less tackles than Shaquille Barrett. But he's not only a defensive end, just like Shaquille Barrett. Shaquille Barrett just rushes the quarterback every single fucking play. TJ Watt drops the pass coverage as well because he's got 9 pass deflections. He's got 2 interceptions. Not to mention he's got 7 yards along with those 2 interceptions, and he's got 6 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries. So TJ Watt, not only is he disruptive in the pass game at rushing the quarterback, he is also great in pass coverage as well with 9 pass deflections. And those are to the fucking tight end. I saw him break on the ball on a swing pass to a running back.
Yeah.
To me, going from one of the worst defenses in the league to one of the best and watching their record improve solely on their defense, because their offense is, we've fucking seen it. Oh my God. It's fucking hideous.
Yeah, it is.
I think he is more of a game changer than anybody on the AFC defensive side at the moment. And that's why I chose him. Don't get me wrong.
I don't even think he's the biggest. He's not even the biggest game changer on the Steelers, though. They brought in Minkah Fitzpatrick.
I get it.
The whole thing just turned right around. That's their biggest game changer. He gets turnovers.
I get it. Okay, he gets turnovers, but TJ Watt has more forced turnovers than Minkah Fitzpatrick does.
Okay, if you count his few, he's got three fumble recoveries. I'll give you that.
So, I mean, if you want to count that in there, they're right there beside each other. But and TJ Watt honestly helps out Minka Fitzpatrick in the passing game, getting pressure to the quarterback. I don't know
Yeah.
how I haven't done the math. I haven't seen all the tape, but I don't know. There might have been a couple fucking plays where TJ Watt's going in there and damn Ryan Fitzpatrick just has to fucking chunk it, and
Yeah.
there it is.
I mean, I never considered that really, but I still, as far as impact players, take Stephon Gilmore away from the Patriots. I'm sorry. We don't have any guy that can cover someone
Lock down a
cover your
receiver,
best receiver the whole game.
right?
Take away TJ Watt, they still have a great defensive line. They still have Hayward. They still have Hargrave. They still have the linebacker crew. They still have Devin Bush and Fitzpatrick in the backfield.
But nobody is as versatile as TJ Watt on that defensive line, though.
He's athletic. I know what
The
you're saying.
one
He's
guy
really
that they're going to
athletic.
drop back in a zone coverage
Yeah.
from the line of scrimmage, they're not going to do it with fucking Casey Hayward. Devin Bush is too young to do it, and he's too small. TJ Watt is big enough to do it.
Size doesn't matter. Come on. He's a
Uh,
beast. Get over it.
Casey Hayward, 300 pounds. I don't see him
If
dropping
there was an
back.
award for the most athletic defensive player, TJ Watt would get it, and without a heartbeat, in the whole
Don't
NFL.
get me wrong. I mean, Stephon Gilmore, best corner in football right now. So, and he has been for the past 2 years. But I'm going to go TJ Watt.
Okay. I won't. I mean, all right.
Valid choice. Valid choice.
He's an athlete.
We're going to move on to
Go on.
Offensive Player of the Years for AFC and NFC. First of all, our NFC Offensive Player of the Year is who?
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian fucking McCaffrey.
Christian fucking McCaffrey. Hunter, here's why, okay? If I had an MVP in mind and I put him down first, that's why McCaffrey is not my MVP. And I have to give him something. I'm going to lay down some stats, all right? I'll just save you the time, okay? 1,300 rushing yards, 1,307 to be exact. That is third rushing in the NFL.
Yep.
First in rushing touchdowns. First in total touchdowns with 18, and first in total yards. If he has two more, his average game, these last two games, he will break the total yards record. Incredible. He's on pace to break records. What was it, LT or Chris Johnson that had the total yards record? I forget.
LT.
I want to say Chris, was it LT?
Daniel Thompson, yes.
He is on pace to break LaDainian Tomlinson's total yards record. Enough said right there. That's MVP worthy. We'll talk about the MVP later. All those numbers alone. And mind you, I mean, look, Panthers have Trey Turner. I think he's a really good guard.
Yep.
And that's it. I mean, they don't have some spectacular offensive line.
That's it.
They don't have a great passing game. You know, Kyle Allen, he's not there yet. I think maybe one day his potential is, but, you know, he's not a great quarterback. It is McCaffrey's offense, and he works with a whole lot of nothing. So you got to consider that too. And McCaffrey, he had to get something. He has to get something. If it's not MVP, it's got to be at least the player of the year.
Yeah, so. I completely agree. And I'm going to go ahead and add a stat in there. You did not count fumbles. This motherfucker has one fumble compared to Nick Chubb, compared to Derrick Henry, compared to Chris Carson, compared to Ezekiel Elliott, all these running backs that have multiple. He only has one with one of the worst offensive lines in football and with an offense that died out in week 8 or 7.
Yeah.
This guy is getting 20, 25, 30 touches a game, plays 98% of the offensive snaps, and he has broken so many records already. And he is I don't know what the records are. It's like first player or third player in NFL history to record over 5,000 total yards or 4,000 total yards in his first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
This Christian McCaffrey did not even play that much his first season. He was a second-string running back behind Jonathan Stewart, who only came in on third downs. He only got 500 rushing yards that game or that season.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey is a star. If you want to go with MVP, the most valuable player, I know Lamar Jackson's got a lot of hype, but when you talk about most valuable player, that team will not do shit without this player.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey needs to be thought about because he
Yep.
gets the ball 90% of the offensive snap. Or no,
You know what?
60% of the offensive snaps out of all of the fucking players on
Yeah.
offense.
I'll go ahead and say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if people get offended. I don't know if the Panthers would have a single win
They
without
would not.
Christian McCaffrey. I really do not. Even with the healthy, well, maybe with a healthy Cam, but this team this year, the way things have gone, quarterback wise, defensive wise, especially up front, I don't know if they'd have a single win without
No,
McCaffrey.
I completely
That is
agree.
what I consider here for an MVP caliber. And like I said, we'll talk about that last. But I'm glad I'm glad we agreed on something there because he had to get an award. He has to get
Yeah.
something for his record year.
Did we talk about how much he's averaging per reception and per rush with the offensive line that he
No,
has?
I mean he's averaging. I know 4.9 yards per carry.
With
4.9 yards per
one of the
carry.
worst linemen. And let me go ahead and break down the Panthers line. You have Matt Paradis. I think
Let's
he
hear
was
it. Let's see how great it is.
a third round or a sixth round pick. Don't
Yeah.
Not 100% sure. Trey Turner, who is an All Pro guard. For some reason didn't make the
one
Pro Bowl
good
this year. I'm kind of
Yeah.
disappointed, but it's okay. You have your right tackle, sixth round pick. Left tackle, sixth round pick. Left guard, undrafted.
Yeah, they're young. They're
It's
young.
ridiculous how
Yeah.
bad that offensive line is.
Yeah.
And for McCaffrey to be that small and fight for that many, I mean, just he plays like he's fucking 6'5".
Yeah.
He's ridiculous. I love watching him get the ball. I wish he wouldn't get it that much because I'm scared. Because if we lose him, we're fucking done on the
I
offensive
agree.
side.
I agree.
So, McCaffrey, I'm glad we both agreed on that. I mean, he
Yeah.
deserved to get something. You fucking said it.
Yeah.
Going to AFC, Offensive Player of the Year. For me, it was a very tough one. But who do you have for that category?
Well, it wasn't that tough for me. I mean, I've been talking about it all year. You got to look at the stats more than you got to, than what the players make you feel on the field from a couple cool looking plays. Obviously, I'm talking about Lamar Jackson. He's my Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC. He's not my MVP. He's my Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC. Let's just go ahead and bring it out. His stats, we've been seeing it all season. First half of the season, we were like, we're waiting for something to plummet, and he's been consistent throughout. Doesn't make big passing plays. I don't even know if they pass 10 times a game, but when they get in the red zone, he's very efficient, and he's leading the league in passing touchdowns. He's first in passing touchdowns. He is third in total QBR. So his passing numbers, if he passed a lot more, I think we would see a decline. I think we see more incompletions, probably one or two more interceptions thrown in there, things of that nature. But he has shocked me at what he's able to do with a clean pocket and time to throw the football. Which jump over to the rushing. He's officially already one of the best, if not the best, running mobile quarterback of all time. In his sophomore season, he has broken one of. Okay. Cam Newton, I forgot. Steve Young, all those guys. Okay. But he's already broken Michael Vick's single season rushing record by a quarterback. He currently, with 2 games left, people, has 1,103 rushing yards. That is not only the best by far of quarterbacks, it's an NFL record for quarterback in a season, and it's one of the top in the league. He's only a few hundred off from first in rushing yards in all of football for all running backs. So I'll give his stats, allow him to be the Offensive Player of the Year. The reason he's not my MVP is look who he's got around him. I hate to say it, but that's how bad Joe Flacco was, people. I mean, he was working with a lot of stuff. He had a great offensive line. 12 total Pro Bowlers, most of them from the offense on this year's Ravens team. Great run game, good young receivers, big, powerful blocking tight ends. They get like 6 yards a carry no matter what they do. I mean, not to, shut him down or anything, but he needs to put up these numbers if he wants my respect. but he's putting him up for now. And yeah, his stats are really good. So he will get Offensive Player of the Year for me.
See, it was tough. It was between him and Nick Chubb for me. Looking
Okay.
at the stats, honestly, I would have to go with Lamar. Lamar's got all the stats that you need to
Okay.
have an
Yeah.
Offensive Player of the Year
Exactly.
award. But when I look at, same thing with the MVP, when I look at players who contribute the most to their team, not just statistically, but what he's got around him, I'm going to go with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb has
Oh,
all the fucking the Browns have all the talent in the world on the offensive side of the fucking ball. And for
exactly.
some reason, they did not, Freddie Kitchens did not put it together. They ran the ball, and for some reason, it was effective. But when they fucking pass it and they try to
Okay.
make Baker Mayfield a fucking pocket passer, it's not going to work. Nick Chubb leading the
Yeah.
league in yards for rushing. I mean, McCaffrey will probably beat him out at third, and Derrick Henry might do it in second. But for now, he's leading the league in rushing yards. He rushes the ball more times than anybody else in the league.
Yep.
He gets 5.2 yards a carry, which is more than any other starting running back in the league besides Lamar Jackson at 6.9. And he's got 8 touchdowns with a shitty offensive line. Lamar Jackson, he gets the numbers on rushing the ball. He only throws it 15 to 20 times a game. Actually,
Yeah.
probably less than
If
20.
that. If that. Yeah.
15 times a game. Granted, he'll throw for 200 yards. He'll
Not
throw for
even.
5 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns. But you've got to think the offensive line that he has working with him. 4 fucking, I think what? How many offensive linemen made it to the Pro Bowl on that team?
4.
3? 4?
4.
4 offensive linemen made it to the Pro Bowl. He's averaging 6.9 yards a fucking carry. He's got Mark Ingram, who is, let me just scroll down there and fucking find him.
You won't have to scroll far. Mark Ingram's having a great year.
He's got nearly 1,000 yards rushing. Right behind Lamar Jackson, actually right fucking behind him, like 4 places down. It's just Lamar Jackson's got the team around him. It's built for success. You can take him out of it. It might not be as effective, but
Yeah, they might
RG3
have
is
lost
his
an
backup.
additional 1 or 2 games, but they'll still be a really good team.
RG3 is his backup, and I'm not a big fan of RG3 just because he was very stupid with the ball, kind of like Lamar Jackson is. But he would do just as good as Lamar Jackson would because that scheme
I
fits.
think so. I agree. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback. He's a great running quarterback. If he is smart with the ball, he will do just fine. But when I look at players who have carried their team, I'm going to go with Nick Chubb just because they don't have a single other fucking person on that team that's actually playing as good, if not a little better than fucking Nick Chubb right now. I mean, same thing with Christian McCaffrey. And honestly, Nick Chubb is beating McCaffrey in fucking rushing yards.
I honestly, I didn't even think about Nick Chubb. I didn't even think about it. It's a very reasonable choice for Player of the Year. I think looking at the stats, I don't think he can get it. I don't think he's going to end up getting a single award real time. By the way, people, there's no AFC and NFC Defensive and Offensive Player of the Year. There is the Player of the Year for offense, Player of the Year for defense. Okay, this is something we like to do to break it down by conference. Even if there were, I don't think Nick Chubb would win simply because of his stats. He's got the rushing yards, right? He's first in the league in rushing yards. He's got 8 touchdowns, you said, right?
Yep.
I mean, he's doing really good. I don't know what you're saying. He's carrying that team.
You're right.
But I feel like there's other players. I mean, I could have said the same thing about Dalvin Cook for NFC Offensive Player of the Year, but his stats don't top Christian McCaffrey's, much like Chubb's doesn't top Lamar Jackson's.
You're shading Kirk Cousins. I don't like it.
Oh, God, get the hell out of here, Kirk Cousins. Oh, God. Well, you know what? Let's move on to MVP. Please don't say it, Hunter.
Kirk Cousins is my... No,
Shut your ass up. No way.
All right. So, yeah. So, there goes our offensive player or defensive player of the years for both conferences. Now we are going to move on to the Mac Daddy Award.
Mac Daddy.
The MVP, the Cam Newton Award.
Okay.
MVP.
All right.
Who do you got for MVP?
Oh, I don't have fucking Kirk Cousins. Um, Actually, no,
Granted.
it's Russell Wilson,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
the same reason we've been talking. We said it like 6 different episodes at one point, briefly or for a whole spiel. Russell Wilson does a lot with a little. We'll throw in the passing stats. Been down the last few weeks. I won't even lie to you. But still,
Well, he wasn't
passing
down
total.
last week.
No, passing total 3,700 yards. That is sixth in the NFL. He has 28 passing touchdowns. That is third. And he's top five at number five in total QBR with a 109. That is just passing stats. I don't even have his rushing information. If you want to pull that up, you go ahead.
I'll go
I
ahead while you're
love
talking.
Russell Wilson as a passer. He throws the purest ball in the league right now, next to probably Aaron Rodgers. Take your pick, whoever you think has the best ball. I think it's Russell Wilson. Um, the same thing that I've been saying all year, the same thing we said about McCaffrey being an MVP candidate and Lamar Jackson not being a candidate. He's working with not a whole lot. Okay. He's got two targets that are decent, or one of them's really good. He's got Tyler Lockett. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Metcalf, maybe. Maybe in the future he can be considered a star player and a nice target. But for now, he's just a big, athletic, dumb rookie that can sometimes make a play here and there. He is not some go to guy. He's got Tyler Lockett, and that's about it. Their offensive line, not great in the pass game
Oh,
or the pass blocking game. They've given up 42 sacks on a mobile quarterback like Russell Wilson. My God, if they were protecting, I don't know, Eli Manning or Tom Brady, they'd give up 90 sacks. I can't imagine. Their run game is solid, but looking at what he has to work with for receivers, looking at his offensive line for pass blocking, and looking at his average to low average defense, Russell Wilson with those stats and the wins is the MVP. Another big thing I don't want people to forget is he is the only reason the 49ers 11 and 3 record team are actually a wild card team right now. Russell Wilson, the great 49ers, I'm sure they're a lot of people's Super Bowl pick for Super Bowl representative for the NFC. They were ours. Russell Wilson is the reason they are sitting in the wild card spot right now. Nothing else. Well, it's not because the three lot. They're 11 and 3. It's one of the best records in football. A great defense, and what we're going to look back on, Hunter, is that overtime win that Russell Wilson pulled out in San Francisco to beat the 49ers. And really, that was their first rough defensive outing. Russell Wilson is any good defense's kryptonite. And he, to me, is unstoppable. I think he's had a few games where he may have been off. Maybe that was in his head. But nothing. I do not believe a single defense can stop this man. I believe Lamar Jackson could be stopped if you stop him from running. You make him pass, you're doing it right. You're going to be just fine. Russell Wilson, you make him pass. Oh my God, it's better than a prime Tom Brady. It's like Aaron Rodgers in 2011 or some shit. It's unreal. And guess what? You
but
want to
better.
make him scramble and run? He'll break 100 yards and run it in 3 touchdowns. He's the best overall player, honestly, in football right now, arguably with Christian McCaffrey.
Even if you want to go a couple
Yeah,
years, if this was just like the best, the best player in a 5 year span, Russell Wilson,
I agree.
honestly.
I agree. Yeah,
J.J. Watt, Kuechly, Aaron Rodgers,
Brady.
fucking Brady. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. This man has been consistent
Yep.
every single fucking year. If you want to look
Yep.
at quarterback rating, he was a rookie in 2012, and his lowest quarterback rating was a 92.6 in 2016. Out of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 years, he has had 1, 2, 3. Out of 8 years, 5 of them he's had a higher 100. He's had a higher than 100% percentage QBR.
That's awesome. See, the stats, we can go on forever about the
We
stats.
could go on and on. So you wanted me to tell you about
But
the rushing.
yeah, let's hear it.
All right.
I
So
have no
Russell Wilson
idea.
has 3,700 passing yards, along with
Right.
311 rushing yards. Total,
4,000
that
total.
puts him at 4,019 yards compared to Lamar Jackson's 3,992. But if you want to throw in pass attempts and rush attempts, Lamar Jackson has 94 more rushing attempts than Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
And he
Yep.
averages 6.9 yards a carry.
Yep.
Just because that scheme is fit for Lamar Jackson to run the fucking ball.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with my MVP, and my MVP, we've been saying it all this whole entire time, and I'm going to stick with it. It is Russell Wilson. The same exact thing you said. Honestly, I'm not going to repeat the exact same things you said.
Thank God. I said a lot.
I'm going to hit some midpoints. When you talk about MVP, Russell Wilson, if they had, who is their backup quarterback? Is it Geno Smith?
It's Geno Smith this year. Yeah.
And not even back. It could be fucking Peyton Manning for all I care. If you put any other quarterback onto that team,
they're lucky to go 500.
They will be to go horrible.
500. Yep.
They will not be good at all. And I was talking beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I said this team was going to be third in the division.
Behind the Cardinals, I remember. Behind the Cardinals.
I was bagging this team so bad because on paper, their offense isn't that good. Their defense is solid. Their secondary is fucking ass on defense. But I completely forgot about the fucking one guy that counts, Russell Wilson.
Only thing that matters.
Seeing him play the Panthers nearly every season. Honestly, I fucking just turn the TV off because I don't even want to fucking see it. I was watching it last week. I mean, Russell Wilson, the past 4 games, not counting last week, has been on a downhill slope. I think he's had 4 touchdowns and 4 picks. He's not done that good the last 4 games. But then when he played the Panthers, granted, shitty defense. I mean, this man threw 5 balls, more than 20 yards, and every single one of them were contested, and it was on the fucking money.
Yeah.
The defensive back had no chance. I mean, I'm talking nuts to butt. And still in the fucking breadbasket every single fucking time. You can't defend against it. Russell Wilson is just like Lamar Jackson when it comes to dual threat. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. But when you look at him passing and you look at the scheme that he's running, that is a West Coast play action. I think it's a deep power run fucking scheme. What's it called, actually? Deep power run deep? I don't fucking know. You know what I mean. Run the ball a lot, throw the ball deep.
It's a vertical power run.
There it is, vertical.
Offense.
I couldn't think of what the fuck.
They run the shit out of the ball and look at his passing stats. That should speak wonders right there.
Attempts compared to Lamar Jackson's 370.
Yep.
He's got 900 more passing yards. He's got 5 less touchdowns, 1 less interception, but you could count that being Lamar Jackson doesn't throw the ball as much.
Yep.
Also got to look at the fucking sacks. Lamar Jackson has 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen on that team.
And Russell 2 great blocking tight ends also.
Yes. Russell Wilson doesn't have not 1. Russell Wilson has been sacked this year 42 times compared to Lamar Jackson's 23. Take Russell Wilson out of that team, off that team. They will not go 800. They will not go 500.
Hunter, I'll go even further. Put let's flop Wilson with Lamar Jackson. Russell Wilson on this Ravens team, and I swear to God, the closest game they would have had would have been a 12-point victory or some shit. They would go undefeated and go down in history as one of the greatest teams and offenses of all time. That's how great the Ravens are. With Russell Wilson, that's how great they would be. And that's how good he is. And I can't imagine how good he would be on a team like that. But they are currently, Hunter, power ranked first in the NFC because of a single person.
Russell
player. Wilson.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is the only reason. When you are that guy, when you're the only reason your team is the shit, and when your team is shit, they're number 1, you're the MVP. You know what? If the Panthers somehow, if McCaffrey was somehow, if the Panthers were fucking like one of the top teams in the NFC, I'd probably be saying the same shit about Christian McCaffrey. I really would.
Yeah.
Because their team isn't that great around him, but he's such a great playmaker. Looking at their record, you have to go with it. Russell Wilson, God, it pisses me off that we say he's MVP. We have very valid reasons, and he's not going to win. I don't know what he's going to win. I don't know if he's going to win anything. It's pissing me off thinking about it. Lamar Jackson's going to win. You know what? It's a fan vote, right? That's what it is. It's a fan vote for the MVP and all this stuff. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
The media
thinkers,
right, so I'm not saying
like us.
Lamar Jackson is a great guy. He's very humble. He's smart. He is a great athlete. I love him to death.
Good attitude, yeah.
I mean, probably one of the most humble guys on the football field. I love watching his interviews. Yeah. He's a really down-to-earth guy.
Competitive.
Just the media that hypes him up just because he runs the ball. Not a lot of people can say, well, we just witnessed a quarterback break Michael Vick's rushing in a single season record.
I never thought I'd hear it, so that's already
I mean, we don't typically see a quarterback run the ball 15 times a game, get over 100 yards a game rushing, and throw for 5 touchdowns in a game. You don't see it. So I see where the hype is coming from, and it's just because he's a Russian quarterback, that's where the hype is. But when you talk about MVP, Russell Wilson all day in my eyes. You cannot put Geno Smith on that fucking team and expect them to go whatever their fucking record is right now. Number 1 team in the NFC.
Don't forget what it stands for. Most valuable player, not most exciting player to watch. They're two completely different teams. Although you could probably throw Russell Wilson in there too. He's pretty outstanding, some of the things he does.
And the thing is, Lamar Jackson will win MVP. He will win Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh,
God. I'm very upset. I mean, and I'm a Panther fan, and I don't think McCaffrey's going to win anything. I think Russell Wilson is ahead of McCaffrey.
Yeah.
It's sad that he's so good for so long. For 8 years, he's been nothing but consistent.
Yeah.
And he's going to get shafted once again. This was his chance, and for some reason, Lamar Jackson wanted to get a stick up his ass.
We made our votes for the playoffs. We both said 49ers would be in the Super Bowl. Dude, I hope Russell Wilson can
he makes it.
Be amazing and pull off a bunch of, I guess, upsets or somehow single-handedly take his team to the Super Bowl. That would be the greatest thing ever.
I want Russell Wilson in every playoff game to throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and run for 150.
Yep.
Literally just him, the only player on that fucking field.
Their defense, he's got to put up almost 50 a game, and he does it. And he just fucking does it with game-winning drives every time. That's what I want from Russell Wilson, damn it.
He would and people would be like, oh, my God, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes, you're damn right you made a mistake.
Damn right you did.
Lamar Jackson's got plenty of years left. Russell Wilson, he's already in his 8th year, going on 9th next year.
Only mathematically, Hunter.
Huh?
No shit. 9th next year? Come on, duh.
You know what
after that, he'll be on his 10th season, guys.
Midway.
Then after that, he'll be on his 11th. Who knows after 11th? I don't really know.
Lamar Jackson don't start sliding, then he's going to have like maybe 3, and then he's done. So
that's true.
Fucking toothpick running out there. Granted, he can break some fucking ankles, but damn, slide, man.
Hey, I'm sure RG3 is telling him to slide. He knows better than anybody else.
I know Brady did.
Damn right. It only took one hit.
It was Rodgers. Rodgers told him to get down.
Yeah. Only took one hit from Brady back when he was young. He learned his lesson.
Yep. He's never been the same. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Nick, do you have anything?
No, that was a great episode. 50th episode coming right around the corner. Probably by the end of the football season, we'll be on 50 already. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
We'll have something planned pretty special for the 50th episode. Hopefully it works out. It's in the works right now. Not going to let y'all know what it is, but we're getting there.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week for episode 41 of the Extra Points, and we will be at week 15 or 16 of the NFL season. Can't wait for
16.
that. 16.
Cool.
All right. We'll catch you guys later.